Julia Riera to serve. Ready. Play. 15 love.
Riera, a very tricky player. I mean, she's very consistent off the ground, moves exceptionally well on the court, but can throw in a lot of varieties. She's got a great backhand slice.
30 love.
Also likes to throw in the drop shot, so she can be unpredictable, which can be tricky to play against. Great point and great court position. That's where Haddad Maia is going to want to be. She was a couple steps inside that baseline. And you can see her reaction there. She's one of the most positive players on the tour. Never showing herself getting down on herself. She's always fist pumping.
Haddad Maia has spent a few weeks here playing in the United Cup. She also played in Adelaide, where she lost to the eventual champion Madison Keys. So looking for that first win.
It's a tough first round.
Yeah.
I mean, Beatriz, she's in the top 20 and playing Madison Keys first round. That's a difficult draw. Great shot on the defense from Riera. And a very smart shot when you're off balance and you know you're leaving so much open court for the opponent. She went for that higher, heavier ball just to try and go for that depth, try and give her time to get back into the court.
Nearly.
First game.
As a qualifier, playing in what is her third Grand Slam of her young career. What an experience for her.
Yeah, absolutely. And I also like the fact it makes a difference that you've earned your way there. You know, we do have the option of wild cards where a lot of the Grand Slams exchange between different countries, and just to give these players opportunities, especially the young ones. But it always feels better when you've actually earned your way through. You've had to gut out those 3 matches, and it just builds confidence. You know, you're putting yourself in pressure moment situations, and to be able to get through, it's just a great feeling. I think it's good for Riera too, you know, saying again, this is her first time playing a top 20 player. You want to play on the big stage, but this court, 1573, it's not massive, so it's kind of a good time to have a match against your first top 20. It's not too overwhelming, but still a bigger stage. It's nice for her. I think it's a good situation.
To serve.
Well, fortunate. She is an accomplished doubles player. Beatriz Haddad Maia has won 7 doubles titles. Coming into the net there.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, the majority of the time she likes to stay at the baseline, which is surprising a little bit because of how adept she is at the net. But anything short, she doesn't hesitate, which is great. Like, she's not afraid to hit and move through that ball and apply that pressure. A kind of an off-pace return chip from Riera, but got good depth. And that's what I mean. She's able to throw in some of these off-pace balls, which could be a good play against Haddad Maia because she likes that pace, likes getting into those powerful toe-to-toe rallies.
Hold.
Oh, just wide from Riera.
30-15.
Well, Riera is going to be extremely consistent off the ground. I can't see her giving away a lot of free points, but at the same time, she knows she's going to have to take a risk occasionally, try and open the court.
Thinking of famous Argentinian tennis players.
Sabatini.
Yeah, of course, yeah. Who can ever
That's the first one that comes to mind. That's a no-brainer.
Yeah, Sabatini was born in 1970. Everybody loved her outfits, didn't they?
Yeah.
She played the flair. Sabatini's autobiography, she was so famous and so popular, translated into 52 different languages.
Wow.
Yeah. Have you read it?
I have not, no. Have you?
No, I think I might now. Get my fix of Argentinian tennis.
I'm sure it's fascinating, yeah. It's always nice when you can just have a little insight into the mind of those athletes that have been so successful.
Hold.
Tried to go for the passing shot. That's 1-all in this opening set. There are some great tennis biographies out there. I mean, Agassi is
I read that one open.
the most well-known one, but I actually just finished Jimmy Connors.
How was that?
Very, very good.
Good.
Yeah, no, there are some good ones.
I think I read Nadal's as well.
Okay. And there's the Federer one.
Yeah, I still have to read that, yeah.
The Master. So if you are a big fan of tennis, which I assume you are if you're watching the action right here, lots of good books to read about the best players in the world as well. Well, both these players from South America, but it seems the powerhouse of women's tennis right now is in Italy and in Europe. The rise of Jasmine Paolini. It's a fascinating draw. It's going to be a wonderful Australian Open, this. tried to play a drop shot, but couldn't disguise it enough, not enough on it, and Haddad Maia easily putting that one away.
I was curious when the drop shot was going to come out. Riera loves throwing in this tactical play. That one just didn't quite get the shortness in the court that she wanted. It had a lot of depth, a lot of height. That's better serve. That placement on the serve is going to be important for Riera. She's going to have to try and really hit her targets on that serve, because Haddad Maia, she's so tall. She's got that long wingspan.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, so if you don't actually hit the spot very well on the serve, she could be in trouble. And still, that's a great placement. She can get a short reply on the return, because Haddad Maia likes to go for that depth. And if she can get the short reply on the return, she's got a nice heavy forehand to get Haddad Maia into trouble. Gets it high above the shoulders.
Let serve.
Great. She actually doesn't have a ton of power off the ground, but she's very good at moving the ball around the court. She's constantly kept Haddad Maia guessing throughout this point. Disguises well. There's a good whip through the forehand on that approach shot.
Serve as well from Riera. So on serve in the opening set, 2-1
against the 1.
Haddad Maia being one of the tallest tennis players, apparently the tallest tennis player right now in the women's game, has got a Haddad Maia 6'1". Erin
really?
Routliffe is 1.85.
What's Rybakina?
Yeah, 1.84.
Oh, really?
Yeah, meters. That's what I. And have a look at this view from up on high, talking about height. The Yarra River, what a beautiful city. You just can never get bored of this view, can you?
No, it's absolutely stunning.
And the sky seems bigger in Australia. I don't know what it is, but
I think it's just because it's summer.
And there's lots of blue sky around today.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah. Certainly worth a trip. And 95,000 people yesterday came through the gates of Melbourne Park, flocked in to see the best tennis players on the planet here, the first slam of the year in January. And that was a record. So we can expect more of the same this week. They really do put on a show. Jill, you cover all 4 of the slams, and this one has its own unique character and identity.
Absolutely. Well, they all do. And I think that's what makes each one so special. I think just because they all bring their own flair, they all bring their own characteristics. Every environment is different. This is, of course, considered the happy slam. For me, it's partly because, you know, everyone's coming off a break in the off season and everyone is seeing each other again. So everyone's always happy to see each other again to ring in the new year. It's a great atmosphere.
Love 15.
Riera right now, I feel like, is handling herself very well. Just to reiterate, it's her first time in the main draw of a slam, got through qualifying. First time playing a top 20 player in her career, and so far looking very relaxed, looking very calm out there.
Nothing to lose.
Yeah, true.
That's a great serve. Yeah, it's a 1-2 punch right there. That lovely swinging serve.
15-all.
And you saw just how far Riera had to you know, move outside of the court, leaving it open for Haddad Maia.
But that's the tough part about playing a left-hander, is if they do have such a good out-wide serve angle, even if you know it's going there, in your mind you know you're giving up so much court that it can be stressful.
13-15.
Well, she certainly wants this and is fired up early. We're seeing that fist pump already. So he's played 3 matches down under so far. Hasn't won any of them yet. Haddad Maia, we know what a good player she is. The 17th seed. So looking for an early win here to move through to the second round.
That
will certainly help.
Yeah, and great changeup too. Naturally against a lefty serve, especially on the ad side, your natural court position on the return stance is to go to your left a little bit more. So if you can, for someone like Haddad Maia, if she can have that flat down the tee serve, it is so useful. And that one as well. What a game.
Great serving from the Brazilian, 2-all.
2 games all.
Yeah, she's always got a good positive attitude, Haddad Maia. I don't know if she's always feeling that inside, but outwardly, you want to show your opponent that, you know, you're in for the fight every moment, that you're not getting down on yourself or frustrated. She always brings that positive energy.
Love 15. Love 30.
Just jumping backwards slightly on these couple double faults. That's just in your mind, the expectation of, you know, being on your back foot right away. Want to make sure you get depth on that second serve.
Lovely shot, taking it out of the air.
That's well handled by the Brazilian.
Love 14.
Pretty good depth on that lob, but Haddad Maia did a good job of being able to judge that high ball in the air, taking it out of the air.
Yeah, and so 3 breakpoint opportunities as well. And all over that serve as well. So an early break in favour of the Brazilian. 3-2 first set.
3 games 2-2.
It's going to be a hot one, that's for sure. But this must be the only Grand Slam where you can have extreme heat and extreme cold in the same 2 weeks. I remember wearing a ski jacket a couple of years ago.
Yes.
And then play was also suspended for a couple of hours because it was too hot only a couple of days previous.
I mean, I have heard that from locals at Melbourne. You can have 4 seasons within a span of 1 day, maybe even half a day. I'm not sure.
And you can see there under the 1573 arena, that is where Jill and I have a wonderful view of this match. Certainly if you're in Melbourne Park, it's worth popping in. It's a good stadium, it's a good court, this, isn't it?
It's great, yeah. All the courts are nice.
Yeah.
They did a great job in this facility of really making these venues and these stadiums feel so intimate. This one, I think they added a little bit more cover for the stands, so there's a lot more shade to make the fans more comfortable. Her opponent from the baseline, some good hitting there.
And
just a good indication throughout that point of how much Haddad Maia wants to have that forehand side. She moved all the way to the right side of the court to take a forehand. Her backhand's very solid, though. I mean, that's what actually won her the point in that rally. She got that flat backhand, got it way off the court.
Some good play there from Riera, putting Haddad Maia into a defensive position.
Yeah, I think Riera's best surface is clay. I mean, she stayed on the clay from September all the way through the end of the year last year, so this is her first hard court since last September, and you can see it in the way she plays on that forehand. She uses that high, heavy forehand rail, which would be so advantageous on the clay. And she also naturally stays a little bit further back behind the baseline. And you do that on the clay because you can work the point a little bit more. But I think for her to gain that experience on the hard courts, because she doesn't have as much experience, she got to be willing to work on that movement backward and forward, be back up on that baseline. Because again, someone like Haddad Maia who likes to be aggressive, that's that stance she likes to take, and that's where you can dictate more points. She can sometimes throw in the double faults, Haddad Maia. And most of them tend to go in the net. I mean, she just occasionally can decelerate. Sometimes she lets the ball toss drop a little bit too much.
It's an opportunity for Riera to break right back.
14.
It's good play going behind Haddad Maia. Just caught her off guard. Haddad Maia unable to redirect her momentum.
What a shot, a great passing shot there from Riera, who breaks right back. Ooh, that was a close call, but in favor of the Argentinian.
3 games on.
It's just great hustle here from Riera. Haddad Maia maybe not putting a lot of power on that approach shot, just gave Riera a little extra time. Great effort.
15 love.
Oh, it's just long. Now, there is electronic line calling, as there has been for the last few years here at the Australian Open. So, obviously, the decision is final and is taken out of their hands. There are no linesmen or women. Very useful serve then from Riera.
See 15.
Here are our linesmen and women. There you go, bolt 6.
They do a good job. Very accurate.
Oh, not enough on it. The linesmen not dressed as well. Can't dress them in Ralph Lauren, though. Some big hitting from both players, but for 40 love, it's now juice.
That's great fight back here from Haddad Maia. Again, showing that positive emotion, but a little bit better movement from her on the baseline, just more efficient with the footwork to be able to hang in that longer rally.
Touch. And rewarded with a breakpoint opportunity. Riera just not quite executing those drop shots as well as she needs to.
That one was a little bit better. Yeah. It was a little shorter.
Bit too long.
Yeah, but I wish she would have been a little bit closer in. You need to follow that ball in, and after you hit the drop shot, make the court seem a little bit smaller for Haddad Maia. I think she thought it was going to go out. Yeah.
Well, Riera is very good at moving Haddad Maia around. She is all out. She's going to be high on the step count today, Haddad Maia.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I mean, I like how Riera is doing that, because most times players have a favorite shot, whether they like going cross court or changing direction down the line, but she's able to just constantly hit her spots perfectly where she's keeping Haddad Maia on the run.
Advantage Riera.
an open wide court, not able to take advantage of it. So Riera does hold, and Haddad Maia has got a match on her hands in this opening set, 3-4 serving. Jill, the coaches will be out here. We know that Rafael Pacchiaroni is the coach for Beatriz Haddad Maia. They a good team.
Yeah, great. I think he's been very good for her as far as like instilling confidence. I mean, you always want to have someone in your support team that's going to back you and trust you. And I think that's the main thing that he's really helped her with. Get to top 20. She's been top 10 in her career, which has been an outstanding achievement. And I think that's been the biggest difference with her rise, is his ability to really instill that confidence in her.
Time.
But Riera, here she is, the 22-year-old, holding her own in this opening set against a player, well, Riera is ranked 146th. And Haddad Maia is the 17th seed. So you can see there's a lot between them, but Riera hanging on in there for sure.
And that's how she needs to play. She needs to have that more aggressive mindset, Haddad Maia. That's where she's playing her best, is when she's not hesitating, going after the ball, really trusting herself out there. She's got to kind of take her mind out of the situation and just trust her instincts, because that's where she's at her best. Interesting match too, because I think this is an important match for both players, but in different ways. For Haddad Maia, we spoke about how, you know, she hasn't won a match this year yet. You always, you know, are trying to have a great off season, work on things so you can start the year well. And so for her to get that one match under her belt, just to grow that confidence, because I think she does do better when she has a lot of wins.
Yeah.
And for Riera, we spoke about her, she did crack the top 100 last year in April. Now she's back outside, still in the top 150. But this would be huge for her to get her first main draw win at the Australian Open here in the main draw. Went through qualifying, be her first top 20 win of her career as well. So a lot riding on the line in this first round.
Yeah, and a lot of dollars as well. They would set her up for the year too. Yeah, record prize money at this Australian Open in 2025, 33 million Australian dollars. That's in the women's singles. 132,000 to the loser of the first round.
4-15.
Not that we like to talk about the money, Jill, but it's so important because it costs a lot to travel.
It's expensive. It is. I mean, it is expensive to travel on the tour if you want to do it the right way. I mean, in the beginning, a lot of times you're traveling by yourself because it's the only way you're able to sustain that lifestyle in the beginning. But, you know, it's so important to have that support team with you. You're out there on your own. It can feel lonely sometimes if you don't have a coach or a parent with you. And it is unlike other sports, it is the player's responsibility to pay for the coach's hotel, their flight. Then you have a coaching fee on top of that.
Oh, opportunity missed. I wonder what Andy Murray has negotiated with Novak Djokovic.
I'm assuming can only be pretty high. I'm thinking. Yeah. I mean, it would be worth
performance-based.
Well, it would be worth paying to know what is in the mind of the greats like that, like an Andy Murray, and I think Djokovic has enough to be able to afford that.
I think Andy Murray's got a fair few bob as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Tried to go for the drop shot, not quite enough on that one, so we're at juice.
Well, Haddad Maia, I would say this year, not playing her best tennis overall. I think she's still trying to find her form a little bit. So even more so to be able to, these are the type of matches that you got to be able to gut it out, find a way. This is a good match for her if she does end up getting through this match. It's a match where she's hitting a lot of balls, so she's going to be able to find her rhythm. So it really does come to the fact about trusting yourself in the big moments and in the pressure moments. That's an example, just, that was a very hesitant, I think. She was just trying to guide the forehand there instead of really getting the footwork underneath her, getting in good position where she can strike the ball with authority.
Good power on that backhand then from the Brazilian.
Advantage, Haddad Maia.
That's a good sign. Adapted well from the previous forehand that she had. And even though she backed up there, it was, just great footwork, good balance throughout the entire rally.
Dash holds for all, first set.
Four games all.
Got more fans starting to walk and flood into court 1573. They're all seeking shade, that's for sure. Even with that more coverage that we have had this year, which will certainly help, because I tell you what, they must sell a fair few hats at this Australian Open.
Yeah, maybe they don't want the shade to sell more hats.
Thank you.
No, but it's such a great addition because it can get so toasty out there. Right now, it's not too bad, but the sun, I feel like the sun is a lot stronger here, even if it's not that hot outside. Would you agree?
Yeah. I'm from England. There's not much sun there. You're seeing a lot of young children here in the crowds as well, and in the stands, because it is the school holidays still. So they're able to take full advantage of it. There's one right there. Oh, it's brilliant. There is so much to enjoy outside of the world-class tennis.
I mean, how amazing it is that this is the time where they're able to have this event during the school holidays. I mean, and they had Kids' Day last Saturday. It was so crowded, so much entertainment for the kids to be able to enjoy.
Oh. 15-30.
Oh, 5 double faults from the racket of Riera so far. Nerves, technique.
I think it's more about, and she's jumping backward, but I think, and that's an indication that she's a little bit worried about the return of Haddad Maia. Oh, again. That's unbelievable again.
And the best point of the match so far.
I mean, that's not easy to coordinate yourself and to be able to judge this ball. I mean, it doesn't seem like that would be a difficult shot, but it's actually pretty tricky to be able to figure out where you are and how much room you have to play with. That's well done by Haddad Maia. A couple break points.
Well,
one saved, but this is a good opportunity, though, for the Brazilian. We're at 4-all in this opening set. Two opportunities missed.
Yes.
I don't mind the aggressive stance there, but the shot that she chose, I mean, you don't have to go so flat, right? You have a break point opportunity. You can still be aggressive, but add a little margin to your shot.
Oh, down the line from Riera. Just from facing a couple of break points, it's now her advantage.
Yeah, she's been wanting that one. She's been looking for that flat backhand down the line. That time in much better position to execute.
Oh.
It's a very important hold from Riera. Faced a couple of break points, but came through. So we're on serve in this opening set. Riera leads 5-4. Well, Haddad Maia may be feeling the heat. Julia Riera holding her own in this opening set against the number 15 seed. First time playing at this Australian Open, has come through qualifying, has nothing to lose as well, is in that wonderful position. Can throw it all at her opponent, and she's doing just that. Sure, she couldn't have judged that any better.
No, and had to be that good too, because Haddad Maia actually looked like she was there, but she stopped running to that ball. Definitely thought it was going to drift long.
Needs that height. Haddad Maia, one of the tallest players out there in the women's draw.
Both players have been pretty successful at the net, actually. Haddad Maia winning 7 of the last of the 12 times that she's approached the net, and Riera 100% success rate, 6 for 6. But both coming in on pretty good choices where they've been in control of the point. Just enough pace on that stretch lob from Haddad Maia caused some problems. It didn't look like Riera actually fully committed to this shot, maybe just a little bit confused on whether she should hit the ball or not. I think just noticed that it was going to drop down into the court. Didn't quite get back for that quickly enough. Well, Haddad Maia's had to work hard, that's for sure. Again, just covering so much ground throughout that rally.
She certainly crashed through the 10,000 steps already.
I think her more so than Riera.
Yeah, absolutely.
Interesting. Riera neutralizes very well. It's 40-30 now, still game point for Haddad Maia. But on the defense, can neutralize exceptionally well. She doesn't panic, she trusts that slice to just get it deep into the court to reset the point. Gets the unforced error from the Brazilian.
Use.
Ooh. Tried to go for the kick serve, went long.
I do feel like that could be potential, just slightly nervous, wanting to even out the score, trying to stay in this first set.
Late, first serve.
Oh, that's clever.
Haddad Maia is so concerned about the dot in the line there because Riera has beaten her on that particular shot a couple times. So can't blame her for wanting to cover that side of the court. So great change up from Riera. Set point.
Yeah, and outwitting her opponent. Well, we weren't expecting this. So pressure firmly on the shoulders now of Haddad Maia.
Point.
Shaky start from Haddad Maia, the qualifier, claiming the first set, 6-4. The new ideas and initiatives in tennis. Okay, 6-4, second set.
Love 15.
And for me, for Haddad Maia to, you know, try and push this match to third, I'd love to see her mindset change. And in regards to the fact that, you know, go after it a little bit more. In that first set, I feel like she can bring more power from the ground. I think that's where she can cause a little bit more damage. Nice. I felt like in the first set, there were quite a few times where she was maybe waiting on the ball, waiting to see what was going to happen. And I think she's got to just, you know, focus on her game, what she does well. That ball she's struggling with, that high, heavy one that Riera brings up high to the backhand side. For a two-hander, that's, I think, one of the most difficult to control, to get aggressive on. It's a smart shot from the Argentinian.
Haddad Maia is showing signs of irritation. Riera looks very relaxed indeed.
Point.
Good angle there.
30-40.
So important to get off to a strong start for the Brazilian. Can she take advantage of this breakpoint opportunity? No.
advantage, here.
Do you feel that Haddad Maia is just a bit loose right now?
Well, what thought just went through my head there is I feel like she's trying to adjust too much, if you know what I mean. Like, it's a great serve.
And that's a very good hold once again, was tested. A couple of great points against her, but Riera. 1-love, second set, 1 set to the good.
I guess the best way to say it is I feel like she's constantly trying to fix something,
right?
If that makes sense. You know, and it applies to what I said earlier. She's just got to focus on her game and what she does the best. And I feel like she's just very reactive right now to what Riera is doing. And I think that's what's causing a lot of these unforced errors. If she makes one unforced error, then she's trying to maybe move back and fix it too much. And that's never a good thing, because then there's too much thinking happening. And that's, you want to be able to just trust what you've put in the work off the court. And whether it feels good or not, you have to just play your game that way. Whether you're not going to feel 100% every time. But I just feel like Haddad Maia is just caught in this constant thinking process a bit too much.
So Haddad Maia needs to stick to the game plan. Needs to find some answers. And needs to turn this match around.
Point.
This is the shot that I feel like has been the most reliable so far for Haddad Maia, is that flat backhand cross court. That's the one that she's been pretty stable on.
Well, she's certainly a powerful player at 6'1", can generate an awful lot of speed with the racket head. A good mover around the court, because often it's said that tall players, because of their height and because they're so statuesque, their movement around the court can be not as strong. Oh, but
there it is again, yeah.
That cross-court shot has served Haddad Maia well.
Yeah, I would say she's a good mover. I mean, you have to be a good mover to get to this stage. With where she's gotten to right now, 17 in the world, been as high as top 10. I mean, there's always room for improvement. I mean, even Coco Gauff, who's one of the best movers in the world, as was still working on her movement, and just little things that you can get better, because those small margins make such a big difference.
But Riera has answers of her own.
40-15.
That's a lovely passing shot.
I like her forehand because she kind of holds it on the backswing a little bit, and then she has a very quick flick through the wrist, and that makes it difficult to read. It's hard to tell when she's going to all of a sudden change direction down the line.
Well, you can tell how much it means to Haddad Maia. That scream relief. 1-all, second set. She wants this. She needs it.
1 game on.
I was wondering when the Brazilian fans were going to get involved. They're everywhere. Always so vocal. I love it.
First available seat. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Behind the players.
Bring good energy. Like it.
Yeah, Chinese fans are pretty lively
yes,
as well, aren't they?
Yeah.
Especially when Zheng Xinwen is playing.
Absolutely. Jeez, you should have seen the U.S. Open. Oh, my goodness. I mean, droves just following her. Unbelievable. Yes,
was very good. That's the best drop shot so far from the racket of Riera.
15 love.
And that one stayed very low over the net. That's where Haddad Maia, that's where I feel like she needs to just get a little more aggressive, because anytime she's able to penetrate to the forehand side of Riera, she can catch that ball late. As good as her forehand is, she doesn't like the lower, harder one into that side.
Third C15. C15.
She was protecting the backhand on that return, so just got caught leaning the wrong way. Not a bad strike on the ball when you're out of position and reaching for the shot. She could have taken her time a little bit more there. I don't necessarily feel like she had to take that forehand on the rise. Oh, a bit of a free mistake there for Haddad Maia. Still game point.
Oh, she's been fabulous with that passing shot down the line. It served Riera well. Serve in the second set, but it's Riera that leads 2-1, 6-4. Does anybody fist pump more than Rafael Nadal?
Than Rafael Nadal. Well, we need a new one, don't we?
We've got a couple here.
Now that we're not going to see him anymore.
Oh. Yeah, the landscape of tennis is changing, but it's still exciting, the next gen that's coming up.
I'm very excited on both the men's and women's. I mean, there are so many, I mean, not only the depth, but there's so many new young players coming up. I mean, already on the men's, the Sinner Alcaraz rivalry, I think everyone's excited about, you know, who's going to win the next slams. I mean, obviously Djokovic is still in there.
Yeah.
But it's exciting. And the women, we love, you know, Sabalenka, I love her personality. She brings such good energy to the court. And then you have Rybakina, Swiatek, Coco. There's so many. The game is so good.
Yeah,
and then it's in a very healthy spot.
Well, and so many good young players as well. Miran Dreva, as well.
Yeah,
creeping up. Saw a good match yesterday with Deanna Schneider. But there are so many to evolve and to play tennis. And what a job it is. What an opportunity to be a tennis player, a professional tennis player, traveling the world and playing in these slams. Lucrative, but the opportunities that it affords. Living the dream. This would be a dream for Riera if she were to get the better of Haddad Maia, the qualifier, taking on the 15th seed and equipping herself very well so far. Excellent at redirecting the point.
She needs to construct to a point where she can set up that backhand cross more often. That's what she needs to do. That shot is working very well for her.
Love. Game, Haddad Maia.
That's a great hold of serve to Love. We're on level terms in this second set at 2 games all. How is Haddad Maia going to turn this game around? Further she's gone in a Grand Slam is Roland Garros, a semi-final in 2023, where she lost, surprise, surprise, to Iga Swiatek. But she knows what it's like to beat good players. She's a quality player, Haddad Maia, but certainly being tested this morning. Oh, good serve there from Riera.
I think Riera can do that too also, though, just because the way she plays. She not only can, she has quite a few tools. She can bring the drop shot, the slice, but she also can change the pace in an instant, which can really disrupt your rhythm. You know, she has that nice, like, fluid, heavy forehand, very consistent back, and then all of a sudden she can whip out the pace at the last moment, which can catch you by surprise.
Yes, in some ways, it's the hard shots are easier to play than the kick serves and the slice and all the different variety that players can bring to the court.
Hold.
Just not quite getting the legs low enough there. Yeah, she just motioned to drop her legs a bit more, Haddad Maia.
C15. Leads 3 games to 2.
And 3-2, I should say. And, well, Haddad Maia, you mentioned then, Jill, how she wasn't getting down low. I mean, she's 6'1", but not showing the athleticism that has seen her win 4 times on the WTA, a winner last year. But she's not quite as athletic as you would like to see.
I think you make a great point, Kate, because, you know, sometimes when you're playing matches and you maybe don't feel your best, you can get a bit rigid, and I do feel like I get the sense that, you know, she's so caught up and maybe things not feeling like she wants them to, that you sort of lose that fluidity. You know what I'm saying? You sort of lose that flow of just allowing yourself to move freely through the ball, and I feel like she's kind of getting stuck a little bit and trying to be almost too rigid in her ground strokes to make them a little bit better.
Well, A lovely view once again of Melbourne Park. There's the precinct. Is it lunchtime? It's 12:25 local time.
I was wondering why I was hungry.
Well, a very assured performance so far from Julia Riera. 3-2. We're on serve in the second set, but it's the Argentinian that has claimed the first set 6-4. And it's certainly given this player something to think about.
Love.
Oh, very good job following it in after that drop shot. Haddad Maia makes it more difficult for Riera to find a good passing shot.
Don't seal up. Let second serve.
Right, caught part of the line.
Third C15.
Didn't catch much of it, but enough. Nice shoulder turn.
Enough for a point. The court positioning of Riera receiving Haddad Maia, she's standing well back off the baseline.
Yeah, it's just comfortable for her. I mean, naturally, she's a clay court player. That's what she grew up on, so that's a natural stance. You do tend to be further back on the clay surface because the ball bounces a little bit higher. It's just where she likes to be.
40-30.
That serve at 178 kilometers an hour. Fastest serve so far in this championship, 192 from Paula Padosa from Spain. Can get up to 200 clicks, can't you? Coco Gauff?
Yes, Gauff definitely. I mean, I'm sure Sabalenka.
Yeah, and of course, Sabalenka.
And Rybakina.
Oh, lovely, yes. That swinging serve from Haddad Maia.
New balls, please. One change.
Look how far out of the court Riera was. Opening it up beautifully.
And that's where Riera can maybe start to get better. You know, you mentioned the court position on her return. That's what got her into trouble on that out wide serve. Her only option was to just throw the ball high in the air because of how far back she was. So, I mean, she's young. She's 22 years old, still trying to get used to the change of surfaces throughout the calendar year. So that's something that I'm sure she'll try and work on. I'm not saying to always be on top of the baseline, but it's good to occasionally give the server, your opponent, a different look. Sometimes change it up. That's what tennis is all about. It's fun to watch because you get to see how players, you know, problem solve out there and adapt.
15 love.
Swinging serve of her own then from Riera.
I think that's why I'm a little bit of an old school mentality where I don't love that we get coaching now. I mean, I know a lot of players and coaches love it, which is great. I think everyone has a different opinion, but for me, I kind of like that.
15-0.
Tennis was unique that way, right? It's the only sport that, you know, you had to figure it out yourself, because I feel like that's where you grow the most and learn the most. And so I kind of miss that a little bit.
Yeah, coaches are allowed to talk with their player if they're on the same side. Oh, God, nearly took out the ball girl then. Good reactions from her.
15-30.
Well, and the coaching boxes, which is new at this year's Australian Open on the show courts on, you know, Rod Laver and Margaret Court and John Cain. And there's also technology that the coaches can use. They can see the stats.
A lot of data now available for everybody.
But does it make your player play better? Do you think having that coach interaction?
I mean, that's probably a whole nother skill that the coaches have to learn, is how to pick and choose all that data that's all of a sudden flooding at them and relay it to their player. And not every player likes a lot of information, right? So you got to kind of pick and choose what to give them while they're out there competing.
14-13.
Right on the service line. Back of the line again from Riera. Great kick serve.
Staying power from Riera, and certainly has the advantage in this match. We're on serve in the second set, but Riera has the first.
Riera leads 4 games to 3.
Tenacious performance from the Argentinian.
I like her demeanor. You know, I mean, she doesn't show much, she doesn't necessarily give much, but she's sort of had the same feel about her throughout the entire match, no matter whether she wins a point or loses a point. She's very steady in her composure. It's good to see for someone so young.
Certainly a hat or a visor day. Oh. We are in Melbourne. There is the Yarra River down the right-hand side of your screen. In Melbourne Park. Adjacent is the MCG that recently had Australia and India in the Test match series. In Australia went on to win. Goodness me, I could
you almost got yourself into trouble.
Yeah. Real sporting capital here down under. Certainly known for its Aussie rules, but these next 2 weeks is all about tennis in Melbourne. Fans now getting behind. Haddad Maia trails 3-4 and a set down.
Great movement at the net from Haddad Maia. Kind of held herself in the middle of the court just for a split second and then made that move. She's got such a long reach. That was helpful. Just didn't get up there with her feet, Riera.
Thanks, guys. Do not walk behind the players. Sit down. Thank you.
Well, they can move in between games, but in between points, a different scenario.
Well, she's bringing some great intensity to this match now, Haddad Maia. And her time is running out for the Brazilian. Needs to find something special.
Serve to love for all. It's one of her strongest games. Haddad Maia just a little bit more clear on her intent and what she wanted to do in that game. Charging forward, coming more into the net. Great pickup there. No thought process, just pure reaction. Well done.
Now Riera to serve.
Out.
Well, certainly the intensity has gone up a notch for Haddad Maia. It's going to be interesting to see how Riera is going to react to this. Look at that, 22 winners from her racket.
She's just all of a sudden flipped a switch and decided that she needs to be more aggressive. Good job not backing down right now, Haddad Maia.
Out.
A few Brazilian fans have certainly come along to this court.
Too good. Love that she didn't try and do too much with that volley.
30.
But just had enough backspin where off the balance, it just came back towards her. Moved away from Haddad Maia.
Yeah, and a good move at 15:30 as well. See that from a qualifier. I like the cut of her
jib. 40-30.
I mean, just exceptional craftiness throughout this point, just showing how good hand she has in all areas of the court.
Riera loving the atmosphere, playing brilliantly as well.
Serving to stay in this match.
Riera leads 5 games to 4.
5-4.
Jill, this would be an upset on day 3. Haddad Maia has been on the back foot, and Riera has done this brilliant job of moving her all around the court.
Well, that last point's a great example is why you always run after the ball. Oh, even if you feel like it's out of reach, always try and make your opponent hit that one extra ball. Haddad Maia, again, just so many thoughts going through her head on that last shot. I think also because of how well Riera has been able to cover the court and get so many of these balls back in play, she just got a little bit confused and too many options in her head about what to do with that overhead. But yeah, just now really under pressure here at Haddad Maia on her serve, just to try and stay in this match.
Time.
Huge game now for the Brazilian, serving to stay in the match. Great opportunity for this young qualifier, the Argentinian. Julia Riera, 1 game away from a place for the first time in the 2nd round of this Australian Open.
Starts smartly with taking a little pace off that, going for more kick serve to get the first serve in. Smart to do it first point just to get that first point on the board. Yeah, it's getting off the baseline. You and I both gasped. Was that in or out?
Was it going to drop in?
Yeah. Really strong first 2 points here for Haddad Maia.
Oh, this is a crucial hold.
C15.
Well, certainly feeling the heat, Haddad Maia. This is most probably not what she was expecting from a first round match at the Australian Open. First slam of the year, and she's being pushed all the way. Entertaining point, but wow. How Riera won that.
Out of pure fight. Really out of just pure fight, just on the full run, just throwing those huge balls high into the air, smart, just to be able to reset the point every time.
Was in a defensive position most of the time, yet still wins the point.
I think that's what's frustrating for Haddad Maia. Still got a game point.
Swing it out wide, holds, but we're 5-all in the second set.
5 games on.
they're chanting Beatrice's
That's her nickname,
name.
Bia.
Yeah, exactly.
So the crowd are firmly behind Beatriz Haddad Maia, but Julia Riera was trying to whip them up into a frenzy just moments ago. Good atmosphere here on 1573, 5-all second set.
Love 15. Love 13.
Important next point for Riera. Love 30. What a way to respond to the pressure.
Just staying low enough that caused problems for Riera.
15.
Well, this is a big opportunity now for Haddad Maia. 2 break points.
Point.
Well, she knew she had to go for it. She had time to be aggressive on it, but just slapped at it a bit too much because she knows it's the right thing to do. Still has an opportunity here. Maybe just do it a little bit more in a stable position. That's great serve.
Well, handled those last 2 points very well, Riera. 15-40 now, juice.
To admire this Argentinian.
Advantage.
I think it's just so hard to see what Haddad Maia needs to do here. I mean, the ball kept dropping so low. Her only option was to go back down the center of the court. What good feel on the lob.
Teasing her opponent.
Yeah. No. Just pulled it.
Use. Advantage, Riera.
Very important game point now for Riera. Faced a couple of break points. But Haddad Maia has answers of her own.
Use.
Tension just building in this game. I'm feeling it.
Well, what a game this is proving to be. This is a real dogfight.
Advantage, Riera.
And the second ace in this game for Riera.
Halt.
Haddad Maia getting a little bit lucky there. She's actually pretty jammed on that return, but because it was such an awkward return, it took a little kind of a funky spin for Riera to try and adapt to.
Right choice of shot in those circumstances?
I think it was a tough shot. Just knifed it, kept it very low.
Can we please close the gate behind the players? Thank you. This is not an end of game. Thank you.
Yeah, fans need to take their seat very quickly. Saw the shot. Had a racket on it, but it went wide.
Use.
Well, both these players want this game so badly. It's a pivotal part of the match.
Nice.
Gets the drop that time.
Yeah, that's how I think that was well in. I think just the height of the ball looked like it was going to go long. Two back-to-back, perfect forehands. That one was what set up the point so well, right into the corner.
Great variety from the racket of Riera.
And it's tough to get aggressive, right? I mean, I wouldn't say it's an overpowering type of ball, the pace, but it's the spin, the heaviness. It's just not easy to consistently get an offensive position.
Halt.
It's too tough to go for. But she feels like she has to, because look at where she is. She's almost in the stands. That's a great return from Haddad Maia.
Wow, we're at juice number 6, the longest game of the match so far. Yeah, taking it early, one inside the court, and Haddad Maia is seriously fired up right now. So is her team. Break point.
Halt.
Survived 2 of them. Oh, make that
3. First time main draw here and handling these break points exceptionally well. This could be the biggest win of her career.
Yeah, Haddad Maia, a quality player. Yeah, first player from Brazil in nearly 50 years to make it into the top 10 in the women's game. Well, this is the first time that Julia Riera has played a player in the top 20. And look at the way she's handling herself, Jill. It's impressive to watch.
I think because she's especially being so close to the finish line, right? I mean, this is the time that maybe you see a little bit of nerves, but she's handling herself exceptionally well.
Halt.
game's never going to end, I think.
Certainly the longest game of this match. Haddad Maia is hanging on.
Advantage, Riera.
How badly does she
Third
want
ace of this game.
How badly does she want first serve here? She hasn't made a first serve in quite a while on the ad side.
Swinging serve. Can't get a racket on that, even with the wingspan of Haddad Maia.
Steady hands in that circumstance from Haddad Maia, just to be willing to take this risk at game point, and did it from pretty far behind the service line. Yeah, great job, really strong. Wow, expecting that serve. She was all over that, covering that out wide.
Advantage,
Came back like a bullet. Okay, breakpoint opportunity number 4 for Haddad Maia. Can she convert? To close this second set, 6-5. Remember, Julia Riera has the first. Well, this could go the full distance.
Haddad Maia leads 6 games to 5.
Well, there was some strength of character in that game. Jill Cravas for Beatriz Haddad Maia. Well, as much as I'm enjoying Melbourne, all this singing makes me want to go to Brazil.
I know.
Even with these spectacular views. Take me to the carnival. If the atmosphere is like that, that's where I'm headed. But what a match, what an enthralling contest this is proving to be. And what a beautiful day we have in Melbourne. Absolutely stunning city and a stunning encounter between these two players that meet for the first time. The tall, athletic Brazilian, there she is, Beatriz Haddad Maia, has been ranked as high as 10. She's the 15th seed, but she's being pushed all the way by the Argentinian qualifier, who's ranked 146. Julia Riera, just 22 years old, there she is. Haddad Maia serving to close out the second set. Pendulum of momentum swinging in favor of Brazil.
Yes, definitely. I think the way she played that game, that's how we were talking about how she needed to start the second set, just that more aggressive mindset. She did well the last couple games to get herself into this position.
I thought that was long. Grabs the line.
Low 15.
Great depth just inside the baseline from Riera.
30.
Pressure for Haddad Maia. Can't afford any errors really at this stage of the match. Has an opportunity to close out this second set, but currently love 30. Shot from Riera, the best drop shots. Haddad Maia was able to get to it, but too much on it.
She felt like she had to go for such a massive shot here. I don't think she really need to put that much behind it. The ball did keep dipping off the bounce.
Now 3 big opportunities for Riera to break right back. Brazil saves one of them.
15-14.
Well, 2 more to go.
Halt.
A little bit more pace behind Haddad Maia's average rally ball now. Just needs to consistently keep that up to try and get through this game.
Still facing another break point. Haddad Maia. Some heavy hitting from the baseline, but Haddad Maia saves 3 consecutive break points.
Yes, again, it's the power. Much more powerful from Haddad Maia.
And just able to outlast her opponent. Well, the previous game was 12 minutes long. We're nearly at 5 minutes for this game.
Going behind Haddad Maia with that nice heavy forehand.
And once again, the young Argentinian creates an opportunity. This to send it into a second set tiebreak.
It wasn't a bad return deep down the center of the court. Just Haddad Maia doing a better job of taking her time instead of rushing to try and put that ball in the open court.
Straightforward shot for Riera then.
Advantage, Riera.
None of these games are easy. Every game has gone the distance, my word.
Yeah, they're pushing each other to their limits, but break point number 5. Can this player create a tiebreak in the second set? Well, how wide was that serve? What a swinging serve then from Haddad Maia.
And it doesn't have to be that powerful, right?
No.
It's the spin and the placement that are so good on that serve from Haddad Maia.
Yeah, just 134 kilometers an hour.
I think it's the right shot to go for, but it doesn't have to be on the line because that shot is naturally pretty effective. You can keep your margins in.
Oh, big moment now for Haddad Maia. Has survived 4 break points. This to take it into a third set. Jill, you were there for the match that Beatriz Haddad Maia played earlier this year in the United Cup that lasted 3 hours and 22 minutes.
Longest match in United Cup history.
Well, that was against Gao Xinyu.
Yeah.
I did say 3 minutes 20. You went 3 minutes 22, actually.
Well, there could have been a match 3:21, and then it would have been the longest one. It was quite a battle. I mean, Haddad Maia ended up losing that match, but there was a lot of things happening in that match. Haddad Maia ended up cramping. So did Zhao Jinyu. She ended up cramping, got multiple body parts strapped, was really struggling physically. But, I mean, it was another instance, actually, even though Haddad Maia lost that match against Zhao Jinyu, another instance where she showed such mental strength because she cramped, but she didn't give up. She stayed out there. She fought through it and ended up actually playing ended up being physically good. Oh, what a first game after losing that second set. Really talk about mental strength.
First game, final set.
Good bounce back here.
You feel that Julia Riera is much more on an even keel, an even plateau.
Yeah.
Whereas it's more of on a roller coaster for Haddad Maia right now with the emotions. She's looking over at her box, her coaches, her physio, her team eagerly.
I think part of Haddad Maia's performance is about bringing that energy, though, right? And I think
it's Brazilian.
Yeah, that's true too. It's part of her DNA, but I think also that gets her into a lot of matches. You know, I think that helped get her into the second set. That intensity and that positive emotions. I mean, sometimes that's how she fights her way through a set to push it to a third.
Halt.
actually the right shot to go for. She didn't do it
15 love.
convincingly. Haddad Maia didn't quite do a ton with that volley. But I think also the presence of Haddad Maia with her height and her wingspan kind of gets in your head when you're going for that pass.
Yeah, a partnership with Laura Siegmund could be very useful at this Australian Open in the doubles. Siegmund, an excellent doubles player. There was a gap. Unable to get through it.
15 Point.
Well, both players moved each other around beautifully in that point.
15.
No wonder they're using the towel. It is hot work out there.
It's been a pretty physical match.
It really has.
Yeah.
And yeah, players not handed the towel by the ball boys or ball girls anymore, not since COVID. That's all changed. They have a little box that they can keep their towel in. Oh, super.
Going behind the
17.
player play for both has been working very well. We got to pick and choose when to do it. This is a good opportunity here for Haddad Maia because she got her a little bit off balance, so you naturally want to recover more towards the center. It's a perfect opportunity for Haddad Maia to use that play. One all in the decider. Jill, do you collect a towel at every Australian Open? Of course I did.
Yeah. You must have a fair few.
Multiple towels at every Australian Open.
Is it the
yes.
the best-selling item, isn't it?
Yeah, probably. I think at all the slams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
have
you
quite a
want
collection.
to get a towel.
I do have quite a collection.
Do you?
Yeah, but then you give them to family members and friends, and that's when they started giving the players a tournament towel, and then the rest of the towels were white after a certain time.
Yeah, they're not the cheapest item in the old merchandise store, that's for sure. You can't really go to a Grand Slam without grabbing a towel.
No.
Point. Out. 15 all.
Clever. Lovely play. Rewarded for coming into the net.
15.
Now, Riera is a player that we haven't seen a great deal of because it came through qualifying But Joe, you've got to be impressed by how well she's holding her own out here.
Like I said, I like her demeanor a lot. Just looks very calm, very comfortable out there. Hasn't had a ton of experience at the Grand Slam level. So, you know, the first showing here, getting into the main draw of the Australian Open, earning it through qualifying, as you mentioned. And he's just showed great composure.
40-15.
From Argentina. You wonder if Gabriela Sabatini, if she's met Gabriela Sabatini, if she is indeed her idol.
Definitely been a great ambassador for the sport, Sabatini, for sure. Inspired a lot of youngsters to get involved in tennis.
Riera, you go
Confident
please,
hold
go
of serve
straight.
from Riera, so we are on serve in the third and final set of this first round match between Brazil and Argentina. Beatriz Haddad Maia and Julia Riera. Well, 95,000 fans flocked through the gates yesterday, which was a record. I wonder if we can eclipse that number today, because, wow, is there anywhere more inviting right now than Melbourne Park, especially when we bring you these pictures, the river running down the right-hand side and players and fans walking in, either catching the tram, the train over the Tanderine Bridge into Melbourne Park. It really is quite the facility. They all are. What's your favourite?
I don't have a favorite. Just because they're all unique. I know that's a very diplomatic thing to say, but just because they're all very unique and very different, and I think they all bring their special characteristics to it, yeah. I think that's why, I don't know, I think that's why it's hard for a lot of players to name a favorite.
Yeah.
I like that this one has such close proximity to the city. I think it makes it very convenient. It's easy for the players to get in and out of the site and back to their accommodations.
Well, this could well be Julia Riera's favourite Grand Slam. Looking for her first win in a main draw Grand Slam match, and is keeping her chances very much alive against the 15th seed.
Let for serve. Love.
Hold. Out. 15 all. Hold.
15-30.
Good point. That's a lovely drop shot from Riera.
Starting to hit the forehand with a little bit more authority, Haddad Maia. Overall been pretty steady on the backhand throughout this match, but it's the forehand now that's just got a little bit more pop behind it and more length, especially when she's pushed out wide. Good fight back from 15-30 to 40-30 now for Haddad Maia. Well, an important hold of serve for Haddad Maia, 2-all final set. Well, you might have heard a cheer from another court, and that was because Emma Raducanu has got through in her first match. Straight sets, took 2 tie breaks, 7-6, 7-6 against Alexandrova. So Raducanu through to the second round where so much is expected of her, and certainly if you're a Brit, you would have been excited about that US Open win, and backing up a Grand Slam win, Jill, is not easy when success came so early
behind the players,
to
ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
So much attention around her after that win, understandably so, but not the easiest thing to deal with. So it's great to see that she's back playing well. That's a good win for Alexandrova, the number 26 seed here. So excellent job from Raducanu.
Love 15.
Out. Out. 15 up.
We've got a fantastic order of play today. There's plenty to look forward to. This is the 1573 arena, the court that we find ourselves on. Coming up afterwards, we have Herbert Hurkacz from Poland. He'll be following on. Then Ben Shelton will be out a little bit later on. And On Jabeur also on court here. And that's after 2:30. Change it up a little bit. They were trading blows from the baseline.
It's funny when she uses that drop shot because she kind of does it a little casually, and she kind of just stands in the middle of the court and waits at the last moment to make her move. That one, again, just had too much depth on it. There's been a few that she hasn't quite executed perfectly.
Wide.
30 all.
Out.
40-30.
But Jill, this is certainly a very physical match. They have moved each other all over the court. They have to have a huge amount of fitness and stamina to compete at this level. It's going to be a war of attrition.
Out.
Especially as these temperatures start to soar.
Skills sharpened in all of your strokes and working on different tactics of your game, but it's about taking that time in the gym, getting ready in the off season, doing extra fitness, which a lot of people take advantage of when they have that few-week period in the off season. Just make sure you're physically fit. A lot of players still train through the calendar season. You kind of have to because it's such a long season. You have to keep that fitness up throughout the year.
That's a shame. And that brings up a breakpoint opportunity now for Haddad Maia. Could this be her opening? Could this be her chance to take advantage, get ahead? Yeah, certainly for 2 weeks, Melbourne sees the fittest players on the planet, doesn't it?
Yes.
Through the streets. Another example there, that rally. Oh, not able to capitalize.
You just made me think there are a few things that you can control as a professional tennis player. One is your serve, because that's the one shot you have complete control over. And the other, diet, fitness, recovery, rest, all the other aspects off the court. Nice aggressive point from Haddad Maia. And you don't want to ever lose a match because of fitness.
Right.
I mean, that's the goal. I mean, obviously you're prone to certain things. There's some players that are prone to cramping more than others, but if you can control that part, that just gives you some confidence as you step out into the court, knowing you can sustain the level, last for long periods of time.
Certainly huge amounts of stamina and recovery are on display in this match. That is a big point and a big game for Haddad Maia. She gets the break in the decider, serving at 3-2.
Haddad Maia leads 3 games to 2.
And certainly a bit more of a spring in her stride. We saw Riera there walk rather casually back to her seat.
Yeah, now it's time for Riera to kind of make those adjustments, because Haddad Maia definitely upping the aggression in this last game in particular. And just see, this is the last point where she gets the break, just to see the response. Great movement off the ground, just keeping that intensity up throughout that point.
Well, the fans would love a Brazilian victory. There are plenty of them here in 1573 that have come along. to cheer on this player. She's a 4-time winner on the WTA. Her last win was last year in Seoul in South Korea.
Time.
So a very useful doubles player as well, with 7 doubles titles. But in her 6th appearance, she would love to go further than the 3rd round. That's her best so far. That was last year, but she certainly has had a battle on her hands today. Now Haddad Maia has the break and serving at 3-2.
Love.
Haddad Maia a little jammed there.
It's so hard sometimes at this stage of a match. I mean, the incredible amount of focus it takes every single point, every single moment, especially when it's been such a physical match, is not easy. That's why it's so important. You've seen them on the side, use the ice towel, stay hydrated. Once you start feeling it physically, it can affect you mentally. Got to keep that level of focus high.
And it's 1:35 local time, so we're at the hottest point of the day as well.
Good running, though, from Riera.
There's been plenty of running, Jill, that's for sure, because 2 break points in favour of Riera, but this match, 2.5 hours on the match clock. And there's been plenty of rallies in excess of 12 shots. Now, Haddad Maia on the back foot. Too good.
30-14.
We are just getting caught so far back behind the baseline. Tough to have an offensive position from that far back.
Serve out wide from Haddad Maia, leaving the court wide open. That 1-2 punch.
She's definitely won the majority of the points when she's been stubborn about using that out wide serve on that ad side.
Well, it's a game point now
Advantage,
for the Brazilian.
Haddad
Faced a
Maia.
couple of break points early. But this would be a very important hold of serve. Would take her to 4-2 in the decider. Well, that was gritty from Haddad Maia, and now it's Riera, who has to find a way to turn this match around. 4-2 in the final set. Has really had the game on her own terms, certainly for the first set, and for a player who's only 22 years old, who came through qualifying, has held her own beautifully. But now, that inexperience, it's only her third ever appearance in a Grand Slam, looking for her first ever win in a Grand Slam, is now being tested.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. The players are ready. Keep your voice down and take your seat quickly. Thank you.
Has she got the fangs, Jill Krabas?
I mean, it's the first time after getting broken that I saw any kind of negative body language from Riera. It wasn't even that negative. She just kind of dropped her shoulders and looked a little deflated. She's been so good with her demeanor throughout this entire match. Got broken at 2-all. And in danger once again on this service game. Game here from the Argentinian.
A couple of wayward shots, certainly from her racket, and that brings up 3 breakpoint opportunities for Haddad Maia to finally see some kind of control of this first round encounter. It's been a sluggish start from the Brazilian, but starting to find form.
15-14.
Riera's been very good at that, just sneaking in a very handy ace at the most opportune times.
Yeah.
But it's another loose forehand from the Argentinian. And Haddad Maia races to a 5-2 lead into the final set, and will have an opportunity to serve for a place in the second round.
Maia leads 5-2.
Are you allowed to bring musical instruments?
I was going to say, that was kind of like, come on, Haddad Maia, get it done. That must have been a Brazilian, I'm guessing. They've been the loudest.
Well, you know that the Barmy Army. Have you heard of the Barmy Army in cricket?
You know, I was going to say no, but now that you said it, it sounds a little familiar.
Okay, there's a Barmy Army, which are the England fan supporters. And
Barmy Army.
The Barmy Army. And they do, and it depends which ground they're in. I don't know if they're allowed to, if the trumpeter is allowed in at Lord's, but they do sometimes allow the trumpeter to come in to support the Barmy Army.
Okay. What is the Barmy Army again?
Is the England supporters in cricket.
Oh, okay.
They're very loud. They're very good. There's the MCG in the distance, and the Barmy Army are certainly allowed in there, and that's where they will be on December the 26th on Boxing Day for the Ashes. But our focus is very much on this match, which has proven to be, well, highly entertaining and somewhat unexpected. 5-2 in the decider. Haddad Maia serving for a place in the second round, but the 15th seed has been pushed all the way today.
Haddad Maia just stayed cross in that rally on the first point. Just stayed with the percentages.
Halt.
Let. Second serve.
Superb angle.
Yeah, just really calm. It didn't look out of her element as well. Just didn't try and do any extra. Great movement, enough space so she could really swing freely through that forehand.
2 points away from a victory.
Halt. Halt. 30-15.
First double fought of the set, 5 overall. Just wide from the racket of the Argentinian. And there you can see
15.
the Brazilian fans, her team, looking on anxiously, getting revved up. It's 2 match points now for the 15th seed.
Halt.
Game 7, Haddad Maia.
And Haddad Maia comes through in 3 sets. Beatriz battles her way into the second round of the Australian Open for 6-7-5, 6-2. Well, what a match. 2 hours 40 on the match clock. First victory of 2025 for Bia, as her fans love to call her. And wow, she's got to take a measure of pride. But frustration?